Thank you very much. Might have been a little longer than a minute, but the main thing is you guys got a couple quick questions you want to ask us, right?
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Lee Griffin. I'm the chairman of the Citizens for Social and Economic Progress. We have a couple ward aldermen out here. We have a couple other organizational groups out here, and you're going to be hearing from us today. And we're going to be here to try to help establish and restore some integrity in the judicial system that we feel as though has went astray.
Why are we doing this outside the government building today?
Well, and the reason why we're doing this is because there's no transparency. We don't feel as though the police is here can police themselves, whether it's judges, whether it's police per se. We feel as though it's the case of the fox watching the chicken coop. We feel as though we need to have this integrity restored. So what we're trying to do today is bring about some changes, find out what's going on, and try to fix the problem. We don't want the Band-Aid through. We want some real solutions to some real problems, because everybody out here got some serious questions. And we know people on drugs can't judge. We got some serious problems here we can't hide. Drugs is permeating all facets of our society. I met a young lady last night, Miss O'Malley. Her daddy was a judge. She had some drug problems. She talks about the situation with her and Sean McGivern. That situation went on for 15 years before it came to the forefront. Luckily, her case was expunged, but it's a lot of poor people that can't afford to have their cases expunged, and that's not fair. So we're going to be talking about disparity in treatment. We're going to talk about the judicial system, selective prosecutions, and I want you guys to stick around, and we're going to get the rally on the road. Any more questions, I'll be glad to refer you to somebody who can answer them. And I think I answered all your questions.
No, we just need to know what you need to be satisfied that there is transparency in government.
What we
are
need,
you trying to kick everybody out of office?
No, what we need is comprehensive drug testing. We need some comprehensive drug testing. We don't want people hiding behind the Fourth Amendment, saying that, well, you know, the United States, Illinois Supreme Court said we don't have to take tests. You know, we know that the employees are going to be tested. We know that the poor people is going to be tested. But the problem didn't start with them, it started with our judges. So when the judge is going to be tested? We know Judge Cook's got a lot of cohorts here. We're not trying to put no labels on nobody, but what are we hiding for? These are our kids, these are our future. A mind full of dope can't cope. We need some serious comprehensive drug testing, like we need some good crime-free bills. But we want to be adequately employed to everybody. Thank you, not just the bottom. And I'm saying here, and I've said this time and time again, it's time for some changes. We know people up here that's not being represented. Who do you know is going to go up to a judge and say, Your Honor, you're not looking too well today. You think you might be on something, Your Honor? Nobody's going to approach a judge with that kind of disrespectful demeanor. And we're not here to disrespect anybody. But we know for our society to maintain, it's got to be some comprehensive drug testing. If you don't like it, that's too bad. Then, because a lot of our clients are not going to come before people unless they've taken a drug test, and they should have that right. We got a lot of young lawyers up here. They got drug problems. Come forward. Let's identify with it, because eventually it's going to come out. Because everything done in dark eventually going to come to the light. We're not here to make no enemies, but we're here to let people know. You up here, you're in high positions. We got a drug problem here. You know, we need to identify with it. We're going to ask drug dealers to stop pushing that dope. We're going to start asking people to stop taking that dope. It's time for a change. And building prisons ain't going to be the solution. We got to deal with the hardcore issues. I thank you, God bless you, and I hope you guys stick around for the rally. We're not just going to have no talk and no press conference, and we want Larry Rice to come over here and sit down with us and talk about solutions that can help the homeless people. We got people out here freezing, and a lot of the situation people are in is because of the drugs. And the Bible says, you don't hate the sinner, you hate the sin. So we want to reach out to the homeless people. We want to try to do something that's going to benefit them. Because God said we need to go and help the homeless people. Because we're all God's kids. So Mr. Larry Rice, I would hope that you would get with him, get with us, and we can sit down at the table of brotherhood and try to make out something positive that's workable for the poor people. Because that's one of our main concerns. Thank you very much.
Citizens! 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 Where do we go? Where do we need? Where do we go? Citizens! No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice! Citizens! We need special prosecutors. Citizens! Power! Citizens! Power! Citizens! Power! Citizens! Power! No justice! No peace! No justice! No vote! No justice! No vote! No justice! No vote! Citizens! Power! Citizens! Power! Citizens! Power! Citizens! Power! We want equal treatment for everybody. We don't care if you're green. We're tired of these people getting off. And they're going down here in prison. We don't need no more prison. We need some hope. Down windows, up windows. Power! Citizens! Power! Citizens! Power! Citizens! Power! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Citizens! Power! Citizens! Power! Citizens! Power! Citizens! Power! No justice, no jobs, no vote. 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 No justice. Yeah. Put the sign up. Hit me with the sign. Put that across the front of the podium. You don't talk about it. No.
Hey, Steve. Email.
We got some major conflicts today.
They put up
And the
email.
leaders that's not out here today is because it's a conflict.
Yeah,
They're not
getting paid
representing
We getting paid
all of it that ain't out here today. To come along, go along, and
They getting paid
to
off.
come along, go along, Johnny. They ain't here because it's a conflict of interest. We tired of this situation. We want some changes. We want the homeless people to be looked after. We want the rich people to be considered. But we want to play fair to everybody. This ain't about race, but it's a race for justice. I want my son and my daughters to have the same treatment as their kids had. We want good representation for our people. They sending our people away by the droves. They're not representing your people. Ain't nothing fair about this system. And if you think something fair about it when you come up here, you're disillusioning yourself. We got brothers right in jails right now that's innocent. We need to open these prison doors up. They want to build more prisons and lock us all up. That's not the solution. So we asking everybody here to join an organization today. Whether it's the male involvement, whether it's the Citizens for Socio-Economic Progress, be a voice, be a part of something, because there's strength in numbers. We're going to let the people know. No justice, no jobs, no vote. Don't come to our neighborhood asking for our vote in this 2014 election if you're not going to do nothing for our people. We got public defenders in conflict position. They got their hands triple dipping. Some of us over the public defender project. Some of them work with the state attorney office. It ain't no fair trial when you go up in there. It ain't no fair that they over the election boards in East St. Louis. They try to keep us in bondage, but they kids out here doing drugs. They getting expunged. They getting sent home. They getting resorts. But when it's a black man involved with drugs, they want to give him 30 years. We're not about crime. We need more policing. But who's going to police the police? And this is a situation where if Brendan Kelly don't ask for no special prosecutor, he's not representing the people. You can't clean up your own house. So you're going to be hearing from some of our people today. I got a lot of passion on these issues. We need to come together. Everybody needs to get registered to vote. We're going to hear from some dynamic speakers today. We're going to hear from some aldermen. We're not here for to cause no disturbance. We're here to bring people together. Regardless of what
Years back.
you may be, you're entitled to a fair trial. I served 16 years for a crime I didn't commit. My record hasn't been expunged. But you got their daughters, their record's expunged when they're dealing drugs. They're copping out. We want these drug dealers to stop pushing this dope on our kids. But we want these people up here to stop saying kill one and send the other one to the penitentiary, regardless. It ain't no justice here. So I'm gonna let you know you'll be hearing from me again. But right now, I want you guys to hear from Rick Brown. We need somebody up here to do a prayer. Brother Bird, can you come up here, brother, and open this thing up? Don't be scared, brother. Come on up. Come on, somebody else come on up and leave this situation. If you're scared, stay at home.
Yeah, call the police.
Actually, come up, brother.
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Happy New Year.
I know that you've heard the word relief, and I heard those words. I know that people have put in their signs, and signs mean a lot. We got to start something, and no journey was never started without one step. You got to step and start in the right direction in order to do something. And the first speaker here, Ms. Brown, will start the steps. And she'll finish with Minister Dr. Baru. So we'll start off with him. All right, thank you.
My name is Rick Brown. I spent the last 35 years studying the city of Belleville. Belleville never had a black employee ever until 1993. And it took the United States of America filing suit against the city and a consent decree for Belleville to have its first black city employee. The population of blacks in 1980 in Belleville was 1.8%. In 1995, it was 9.8%. And the Justice Department ordered the city to hire 28 full-time employees. The city's population of blacks now is 25.4%, and they have 24 full-time employees. That's 7.5% of the workforce. In the non-full-time, part-time employees, it's only 4.5%. The city does not even make an attempt to hire more black employees, even though the population is 25%. We need more representation in jobs in the city of Belleville by our black residents. The city of Belleville and St. Clair County is not transparent. Many times we ask for information, many times we're denied. There have been 8 FOIA violations in the city of Belleville that are being investigated by the Attorney General's office, and the government has to open up. And I'll be open for any questions later on after some other people speak here. Maybe Belinda Hull, would you like to come up and talk? Thank you.
My name is Belinda Holt. I'm here to private citizen of St. Clair County because, like the rest of you, I have questions. I want to know how many people were at that honey pot. Whether just the 2 we know about, or whether it was why are the indictments sealed? What more are we waiting? Is Brendan Kelly ever going to do his job, or is he afraid to do his job because Bruce Cook gives him too much money to run his campaign? I'm tired of this. Does C.J. Barris Evans, was he there at the lodge? Does he have a problem smoking marijuana every day? Why aren't all of the judges taking drug tests? If you have nothing to hide, come out here and do it. Other city officials and county officials are ready to do it. Why aren't the judges? Stop hiding behind the law. You are not above it. If we don't know, if they don't competent, we have waited, but we want answers. I'm concerned that Steve Quinton is not prosecuted to the fullest either. When did heroin get to be a misdemeanor just because a judge was involved, a white judge? Is it the same? Is it the same for everybody, or are we still giving out special treatment? When is this going to end? Who can help us? Clearly, the elected officials we have now, Brendan Kelly and Steve Whittington, are fully prosecuted. We need the rest of the answers. We can only get that from an out-of-town special prosecutor, and that is what we do. I hope my fellow citizens stand with me. Mr. Thank you.
I'm trying to work this thing. Can everybody hear me? All right, we're gonna line up. If you don't have a sign, pick one sign up right over there by the pool. Everybody gonna pick a sign up. I want to see a sign in everybody's hand. We're gonna march 2 and 2. We're gonna march around 2, and we're gonna just march around one more time. Yes. Coming back up, sir. Everybody get a sign. Everybody get a sign.
I ain't going.
Can't walk. I can't walk with my foot. That's sick. Okay.
Everybody line up out today. Everybody, grab some signs. Gallaudet.
Yeah, okay, Dion. Hey, you know what? I agree, but I'm going to just sit it out.
All right, here we go. Let's go. No justice, no peace. No jobs, no vote. No justice, no peace. No jobs, no vote. No justice, no peace. No jobs, no vote.
There's stuff down there that let us pick up the phone, make calls, and take people seriously.
No justice, no peace. No jobs, no vote.
Hey, can I get somebody to work this pool also?
Spray.
No job, no job, no justice, no job, no vote.
As far as
No justice, no job, no vote. We need a special prosecutor. When do we want him? When do we need him? We need a special prosecutor to look into these cases. 1,700. When do we want him? When do we need him? No justice, no job.
I'll protect what they got.
No justice. No vote.
Nobody
No justice.
that knowledge you got that you're doing with the
got a universal African-American people organization.
Well, I figured it out why they did what they did. They all what they were doing was buying up buildings, knocking them down with the city take money, and then not putting rates on them, and then sue out and buy some.
We don't have a black public defender.
this is what we're up
We
against.
don't have a black public defender.
These
No
people
justice, no job, no justice, no vote. Our civics say we here because it's political, but everything he
They
do
told
is
me the
political.
city has a lien on it.
He said he prosecuted me. He didn't prosecute me. He needs to be prosecuted here. We need him all to take contact. If you're clean, you're clean. If you're dirty, you're dirty. But you're not going to send our people to the penitentiary. You just sit up there when your kids is getting away with mass murder. We care about crime. We care about people working together. It's not a white issue. It's not a black issue. It's a humanitarian issue. We have to get Al Sharpton here. We have to get Jesse Jackson, American president. He was here in 1993. I'm in the popular meeting. He was here almost 20 years ago when they didn't want to have no minority. But the way the minorities they got up in there now, they scared.
speak out. Start speaking out, people. Start speaking out. They sending your kids away to prison. Wake up. It ain't no justice in these courtrooms. We want a fair place. It's injustice. This ain't political. So we gonna hear from our next speaker. And if everybody give him a big round of applause, this brother was here in 1993. Ain't nothing changed, and you gonna hear from him. He was here boycotting about what they was doing, and he's gonna talk to you about boycotting, about us coming together and registering to vote and get some powerful people down here. But we're powerful. We're powerful. They work for us. We don't work for them. But you gotta realize one thing. It can't be a case of the fox watching the chicken coop. They're not going to police themselves. There's some major conflicts here. And people, we better wake up before it's too late and all of us be in jail. No justice, no jobs. No votes. No justice. No jobs. No votes. We demand a special prosecutor. We tired of them looking over their own self. When they come to their kids, we tired of them. They're not going to judge fairly.
I did 19 years. He did 16.
People, realize it's time. It's time for us to take our country back. So we finna hear from Brother Zaki Maruda. Everybody give him a big hand, please.
Don't you get arrested messing with me.
First of all, I hope everybody...
Jail's a picnic committee. I've been going since 71. 77. Don't you put your hands on me.
Allow myself and you to be here.
That's about your mile away. Don't you do it.
Let me say, I'm here on the strength of Brother Lee Griffin, who I think everyone should salute and applaud for his courageous act to address a real serious issue facing our community.
That is correct.
So let's give it up for Brother Lee Griffin. Then also I want to just salute each of you for taking some time out here to express what's going on here in the society. You know, a lot of times, many movements start with a small group of people who have a vision and who are outraged at what is taking place. And so to that end, I want to salute you as people who are outraged at what's taking place. Also, I'd like to salute the person who spoke earlier as a person up here in Belleville that addressed some real issues that you ought to listen to. We as a people ought to have our proportionate share of everything that's positive and good in this country because we are taxpayers. And that's an issue that we have to do and address as a people. My brother made mention. First of all, let me introduce who I am. My name is Zaki Baruti, and that's my cultural name, which means charitable teacher. By profession, I was an educator in East St. Louis, Illinois, for over 33 years, where within that system, I saw many things educationally that damages our people, that to the point that we don't organize to the level that we should because of the broken educational system. Past that, I've been an activist for a number of years with a number of organizations. Presently, I'm head of an organization that's called the Universal African Peoples Organization, which was founded on April 4, 1989. To that end, we have dealt with many issues facing our people. So when I heard the call from my brother, Lee Griffin, to be here in response to that, that's why I'm here. Now let's look at the situation of why we're here. Because there was many points that was raised in Lee's remarks, as well as the other gentleman's remarks. First of all, this society should let our people go. That's his theme as he shared with me. And why should they let us go? Because we as a people today is really still in bondage on the real side in so many ways. And one of the ways that's very manifest in terms of our bondage is if you look at the statistic of black males in this country. Black males are only 6% of the total United States population. Yet 70% of them are incarcerated. 70% of those who are incarcerated here in America are black, young men, with a growing population of young sisters. That's mad. That's direct, discriminatory, actions perpetrated by the federal, state, and local governments. An example of that is the hypocrisy of the drug law. For an offense committed with pure cocaine, powder cocaine, and there's historical data that points it out that for a large quantity of some pure cocaine, basically, versus the crack, black people of poorness who use the crack are given disproportionate sentences for those who use the powder cocaine, which was predominantly white. So that in and of itself, in the crafting of the law, was designed against black and poor people. Which, if you look at the statistics since the drug laws, the prison population has exploded. So President Barack Obama was correct most recently when he pardoned or gave amnesty to some people who had been impacted by the crack law. However, all the governors across this country, if we are talking about free our people and let our people go and have some justice, since America always talk about justice across the globe, let's have some justice right here in the United States, starting right here in Belleville, and let's give amnesty to those folks who have had some of this crack convictions based on possession. Not saying we support any drug pushment throughout this country, knowing that much of the drugs, though, don't come from within the community, it comes from outside of the community. So go after the big dealers, U.S. government, state government, local government. So that's a critical issue that's facing us. So how do we deal with those kinds of issues? The brother mentioned right here in Belleville, 25% of the population is black, yet only 7% are black employees. That means the Belleville black population is paying 25% of the tax base, yet don't get their fair share. That's madness. Am I right or wrong? Let me know. I mean, that's... So then, it's upon the people of Belleville, and those of you who got some vision, and those of you who are not afraid, to begin to really seriously organize. And then we got to understand, historically, you got to understand history. You know, this is really a class struggle and a race struggle.
Positive.
Because in terms of the freeing of our people, historically, we did have some folks like John Brown, who's my hero, or Elijah Lovejoy, who are of the white race, that supported us with the Underground Railroad.
White dude.
So there is a class struggle. However, in America, we have to be absolutely clear. It's a race struggle also.
And class.
Because much of what is taking place is sadly directed at us. A couple of other comments. Number one, if we're going to change this reality, we also have to have a bigger picture of global politics as we work locally. Because what takes place in South Africa,
right,
Zimbabwe,
Mandela,
all across the globe also impacts us and has a direct or indirect relationship to what's going on here. So we got to be concerned with what's happening there. Then we got to be concerned with what's happening right here in this country, across this country. So we don't have to, as a movement, begin to link up with what's happening over in St. Louis, with what's happening in Chicago. A young sister standing outside with some friends, shot dead with killed, I've forgotten her last name, but a sister shot dead by a white police officer, brutally. Nothing done. But that's one of many examples of police violence that occur all across this country, because we also know that DWB is real. Am I right or wrong? Right. And those folks who know DWB know that means driving while black. That's just a reality, and it goes back, let me say this. Being in St. Louis, again, talking about proportions. St. Louis City is a city that's 54% black. Yet, the police department is 70% white. That's, again, disproportionateness. So we as a people don't have to understand that we got to call for proportionality in everything. One other thing, at the high level, are you aware that in the United States Senate, there's 100 senators who just voted on, well, they didn't vote on extending food stamps for the people out here that need it. But of that 100, only 3 are of color. When we as a population is 13%, then we ought to be 13% of the United States Senate. Common sense. But none of that is going to change unless we get super serious and really begin to organize. Now, how do we begin to organize? I challenge every one of you. Everyone, it needs to be a badge of honor that you belong to an organization that speaks truth to power, that's doing all they can to make a difference in our community. And to choose those organizations, you need to look at leadership. Have they been out in the forefront struggling for our people? If they have, then you duty bound. Everybody understand what I'm saying? You are duty bound to join an organization. So I close on this point. In being duty bound, I want to just offer also our organization, which publishes a newspaper that's called the African News World, and we deal with a whole range of issues. And we're saying visually, going into the 21st century, we need to have an army of people who's ready to stand in the spirit of the Creator, saying that let my people go. But in letting our people go, we have to have some strategies to fight against that. And some of the strategies is voting, is that we got to also redirect our dollars. Redirect our dollars, our spending dollars. What some people would say is boycott. We as a people are a great consumer nation. If we begin to target certain corporations and saying, hell no, we're not going to continue to accept what is being done to us without you suffering that consequence. That's the only way, in my humble opinion, things are going to change. So it's in that spirit. If you're interested in knowing more about our organization, you can get a copy of our newspaper. We also have created a campaign, kickoff campaign of celebrating those folks, which I should have started off anyway, in the spirit of Nelson Mandela, in the spirit of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, in the spirit of Malcolm X and Harriet Tubman, and Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and so many other folks who stood up for us.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Each of you, again, are duty bound to stand up. God bless you.
Get a brother a big round of applause.